And happy Saturday. Let's see if you can hear me and see me. Let everybody know in the comments. If you can see this, make sure you give us a thumbs up. I don't know, I'm watching my live stream monitor and it doesn't seem like anything is happening here. That's not good. Okay. Trying this again. See what happens here. Anything? Nothing? There we go. Whoa, I don't know what happened. The the stuff wasn't working. Like the intro wasn't working. If you can hear me, let me know. So weird. There was such a huge delay on the video this morning. Somebody let me know, please, in the comments whether you can hear me or not. Okay, so Gibby says, I see and hear you. Andy, good morning. CHJH, David. Okay. Whoa, weird stream things this morning, right? So I hope everybody is doing well. If you need to reach out, if you need consulting, any of those good things, you can reach out at williehowe.com. All of our affiliate links are below. Definitely appreciated. So, as with always, so next July, if you're a quarterly taxpayer, in July, it'll be that time to pay quarterly taxes. And, you know, this is time of year, kids are getting out of school, summer plans are happening, things slow down a little bit. So, going to be able to get some more content out because definitely the algorithm has got us doing one of these. So, we got to make sure we keep that content up. But all right. There was something really weird with the stream. But anyway, I hope everybody is doing well this morning. And what we're going to talk about is there was a lot of, not a lot, but within the last 7 days, Ubiquiti put out like 3 videos on their channel, and we are going to take a look at that. Dave Robertson, good morning, good morning. And one thing I've got to do real quick is if you are interested in our Grand Stream training, some of you have already signed up, and just so you know, the class is already half full. The Grand Stream Certified Professional Training. It's filling up quickly. I actually couldn't believe how quickly people started filling up. And I was going to bring up the video. I don't want to bring up the video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link down here in the comments if you want to sign up for the training. We are literally already 50% at capacity, and training hasn't even been available a week. So I'll be sending out an email tomorrow. I just posted a link to the certified training page. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and get that filled out. We'll get you on the list. There'll be a touch base email coming tomorrow. All right, let's go over to the comments real quick. Good morning, everybody. See a lot of folks here. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, that like button. That'll definitely let the algorithm know that you're interested in. Hey, Joe with cajoling is here. Unky Joe's in the house. Ralph, Tom, Justin. So, morning, Weebo. So, yeah, so look in the in the chat here. You can also go back. I put a video out earlier in the week about the GrandStream certified training, August 1st through the 3rd in Peoria, Illinois. And going to be a 3-day class. You do have to have your GCS previous to that, but I am going to be filming that video. That's about a 2 to 3 hour video to get through the required content from GrandStream, and then you'll be able to sign up for the certification exam and get that, because you do have to have that before we get you registered into the professional class. Morning, Harry, Cliff, Florida. Yeah, it's going to be as warm here in Peoria this week as it is in Florida. So a couple of days we're supposed to get real temp over 100, so we'll see what happens. Harrison says, in the process of upgrading my 6208 to our 6308. Here is a pro tip that if you are using GDMS, GDMS has a conversion tool for you to convert from a 6200 series config to a 6300 series config, so you don't have to set everything up again. It's only available on GDMS for now. So, and yeah, Joe is right. We're just missing Tony, and we'll have the whole quartet. That's right. Unky Joe says where he is at, it's going to be 104 today. It was 101 yesterday. So, Tom, if you're inside the States, you don't need a passport for Peoria. Hi to Niagara Falls. All right, so let's talk about a few things Ubiquiti. So I'm going to swing over to the screen here. And if you're paying attention, you can see some of my subscriptions over here. I've got Bourbon Junkies, Cajoling Technologies, Damon Warren Productions, Intermit, Larry Lawton, Lawrence Systems, Level 1 Techs, Michael Francis, Novatech Spirit, and there's Practical IT with Jeremy. So just a little bit of an idea of what I watch. All right, so let's see. The first thing was this came out last week, and you'll have to let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear that video? I'm going to pause it so you can tell me whether you could hear that intro. Because if you did, then we'll watch the video a little bit here, and we'll talk about this. Tom is in North Carolina. Yeah, you don't need a passport to get to Illinois. Sometimes it feels like that, but should be okay. And if you're not subscribed to all of the other creators in the channel here, you should go check them out. Joe has been cranking out the content lately. All right, so let's talk about UISP Wave. We're going to watch their video, and we're going to pause it, and we're going to talk about it here.
The Last Mile Internet Challenge. Extending wired infrastructure to new communities is a high-effort and costly undertaking.
Fiber is very expensive. It's usually when they put conduit in and they do directional boring, they talk about it or they talk about it per foot, right? So WISPs are still very much relevant.
Wireless alternatives, while more cost-effective and flexible, come with significant performance compromises. Until now. Welcome to Wave Technology by Ubiquiti.
Okay, so if you are in EA, we can't get too far into it. We can talk about what they are showing here. You'll know that some of these products have showed up. This piece of equipment is there, and then I believe it's this one and probably this one. So there still looks like there's 3 pieces of equipment that are not in EA yet.
A true wired replacement internet distribution platform with breakthrough economics. The Wave AP operates in the 60 gigahertz license-free band and is truly long-range.
So if you're doing 60 gigahertz at 8 kilometers, that's a pretty good shot. If you get heavy rain, you're going to want that 5 gigahertz failover because rain fade is real.
It comes in a single or triple sector configuration, which expands sector beam width, capable of incredible speeds and high capacity. A 5 gigahertz fail.
So if you see that, it looks like each one of these in point to multi-point mode are going to be able to support 45 customers, and it's good if that you don't overload, your sectors, and especially if this thing's talking about being able to do multiple gigabit. Can you imagine getting gigabit to the house via the 60 gigahertz wireless?
Over radio system is integrated to provide resilient link performance if needed. The Wave AP Micro is designed to extend tower coverage.
So I think that this device is not in EA yet. This is definitely an interesting looking piece of hardware, and maybe I missed it.
Extend tower coverage and is ideally co-located at a customer site. The Wave Mesh takes this concept even further.
This I'm super excited about. So, and there's a lot of WISPs that run Ubiquiti gear, and there's a lot of people that run them down, and there's, the jovial saying you start with Ubiquiti because of price and then you upgrade to Cambium. However, what Ubiquiti is doing here is a game changer, and no one else in their price space is doing this.
Perfect for customer self-install. It serves the client while effortlessly expanding the ISP coverage area.
How fantastic is that you can put this this mesh device as the CPE, and then it can feed other clients in the area. This is a game changer. I'm really excited about this gear.
Within an incredibly compact industrial design. Wave clients consist of 3 models: Nano, Long Range, and Professional. Wave Nano was designed for a seamless installation experience.
Now, they are saying that all of these new radios are symmetrical. So it's not like gigabit down, and it's not like, 100 meg up like a lot of providers. They are saying you're going to get a symmetrical 1 gigabit. Now, notice we didn't see anything about full duplex. With the 60 gigahertz spectrum, you can use such a large swath of the spectrum that it feels like it's full duplex, but it's really not unless it is actually full duplex.
Wave Long Range offers expanded range, while Wave Professional provides faster speeds.
So that Wave Pro is going to give you 2.7 gig over the air, up to 8 kilometers. And I don't think that these are going to be crazy expensive. You can check out EA, but I think, I'm standing by that this is going to be a game changer. And when I get my hands on these, we're going to do a full WISP setup video. So I'll be buying probably, I don't know if they'll send these to me or if I'll buy them myself. If they become available and I can get them myself, that I may do that right away. Not sure. I actually might want to wait. So here's the thing about EA. And the reason they don't want us doing videos on EA gear and talking about EA is because in EA, everything is subject to change. They can change absolutely anything, anytime. They can do that in production too, right? But it's more likely to happen in EA. And I will tell you, I have seen EA products that just didn't launch, and I've seen EA products that completely transformed. So I'm going to keep an eye on this for sure.
The Wave family is managed by a rapidly evolving UISP application, providing excellent network health monitoring, coverage analysis, and assisted link installation, along with complete ISP operations and customer management.
Now, I see some people on the WISP forums and stuff having problems with UISP, and I always wonder, is it nature versus nurture? Because anyone we've ever helped set up UISP, it's worked great. The billing has worked, and let's really talk about this. What other company gives you the platform like this for free, right? So
our ISP Design Center at ispdesign.ui.com allows any ISP or entrepreneur to successfully execute a business plan like never before.
So this is another tool that they're not charging you for, and it's similar to like the Unify Design Center, but it is specifically for ISPs.
Design your network, simulate coverage, analyze the economics of your operation, and start attacking markets. Welcome to the future of last mile internet.
I, for one, cannot wait for this gear. So let's go back to the Ubiquiti videos here, and we'll talk about the other one here in a minute. But let's go to the comments real quick. T Century says, I'm in Appalachia, so geography is a challenge with point-to-point. I'm 100% sure of that. Yeah, JH, it is going to force others to make a 360. Good morning, Tony with Quick Tech. The whole crew is here. The whole quartet in the house. So, Weibo, yeah, it is weird, right? But Ubiquiti is totally in control of this. You know, since they've made a video about it, none of us have gotten a talking to, as far as I know, about making videos about it and about talking about it. And in fact, you know, Ubiquiti is, you know, they push the edges and everything, including marketing. If you remember, like the fake YouTube channels that they had set up, and then even some of the larger creators like Linus Tech Tips had an EA product, did a video on an EA product, and I think he was part of the, you know, the initial launch of the affiliate program. But it's really up to them, but EA could absolutely change at any time. JH says the wind load isn't going to be a lot on all those. I agree. Like, they are going to be pretty streamlined. Gibby says that's pretty cool, having installed both Cambium and USIPS. Yeah, so I've got Cambium over there. I've got, I don't know, I've got like 2 or 3 different types of Wisp gear, including Ubiquiti. And maybe we should do a comparison video or like a breakdown, like a spreadsheet like we normally do. Gina says, having had our Wisp ISP systems blown off the side of a mountain and totally destroyed in last winter's storms and still waiting for reconnection, fiber for us not come quickly enough. Yeah, or having stock of product. Good morning, Michael. Let's see here. JH says, I set up a lot of point-to-multi-point ISPs for boats at marinas, so that 360 is going to be great at the end of the dock, 100%. And how we design boat slips in marinas is usually the bandwidth comes into like the rental office, and then we use 5 gigahertz backhauls out, you know, point-to-multi-point, and then we put APs down by the slips. Ryu says, like the leaf switch that came out 2 years ago and just went poof. And I don't think that original leaf switch ever made it out of EA. I know because I pinged my representative over at Ubiquiti because Serve the Home did a teardown video, and that product, I think, went poof. But go look in EA if you want to see what they're up to with leaf and spine. It's pretty interesting what is going on. Oh, yeah, and that's what Cliff says. Serve the Home reviewed that switch and pretty much pooped on it. I didn't watch the entire review. I skipped around. I just wanted to see the guts that were inside of it. Cliff says the new leaf switch that just got posted seems to fix their issues by first glance. So, Cajoling Tech says, could you give us an example project you have done with UISP? I'm not very familiar with the application. So UISP can do 2 things. It can be, so what they did was they combined their CRM product, so their Wisp billing product, along with UNMS, which kind of started out as just the EdgeMax management platform, and now they have merged those into one single program, which is UISP. So you can do a couple different things. You can actually turn CRM mode off, which is how a lot of our customers use it. They only use UISP for the EdgeMax and AirOS management functionality. But we do have a few Wisps who actually just use AirCubes or Edge routers and may use other wireless infrastructure to run their ISPs. So you can mix and match. I know people you're using MikroTik and a few other vendors in between, and it works really well. So Dale says, good morning, sir. Sorry, I owe you an email. Life has been crazy lately. Dale, I totally understand. You don't owe me anything, sir. Take your time. And another place that we've got two customers where we help them deploy the Ubiquiti fiber solutions with an edge router, Infinity at the top, and then their OLTs and ONTs, and we use UISP there as well. Good morning, Jim Ridgeway. Brendan says, could you please ask Ubiquiti to set up an online shop in Australia? I can ask, but I mean, who knows what? I know Leader Systems in Australia I think they might be the biggest Ubiquiti reseller over there. So I don't know if Ubiquiti will do that or not. JH says, Unify needs a few things before I can deploy them in most of my locations. Dual hot swappable PSU, and 2 stacking. Yeah, go check out the EA DC products, JH, and see what you think. All right, so let's take a look at the Ubiquity Insider that was published 4 days ago. I'm always looking for Easter eggs.
Insider, where we share insights into the latest Ubiquiti R&D advancements. We announced a brand new Unify console category.
All right, so a couple weeks ago we did talk about the Dreamwall. Now, apparently there was an issue with paperwork or something for the Pro. So what you're looking at here is actually the Unify Dreamwall Pro. I believe it's been released in other countries in EA, but so far just the standard has been released in the US, unless it was released this morning and I didn't see it.
The Dreamwall, now in early access, a space-saving alternative to the traditional IT rack mount standard.
This is where, Ubiquiti, they used to... what was the word that we all used to use, where you shake things up? Disruptive. Ubiquiti they disrupt these larger players, right? So they just said it is a space-saving alternative to having an entire rack. And that, if they can get any issues that are addressed I don't have one of these. I don't have the standard. Cody is supposed to invite me to his standard once he gets it set up so I can poke around. But what they are is they're changing the game again, and this will get adoption as long as they can get this form factor to perform the way that people want it to.
The Dreamwall eliminates the need for a dedicated.
So you've got PoE, PoE Plus, PoE Plus Plus. You've got 4 SFP Plus cages over here.
Data closet. We have also launched Unify 6 in-wall access point.
I don't have one of these yet, but it's the same form factor as the other in-walls, but it is Wi-Fi 6.
Which transforms an Ethernet wall outlet into a 4-port gigabit switch with a P.
If you go back a few years, it might have been 2019. No, it was probably 2018. It was like June, July. It was hot. And I have that Qubit Gangbox saw, and I did a demo video where I sawed into the drywall. Joe Trelli will love it because it's full of all kinds of amazing sounds. But we mounted, the standard in-wall AP, and I think we're at a point now with all manufacturers, whether you're using Cambium, whether you're using Ubiquiti, whether you're using Grandstream, that you're going to see, the APs that people are going to be getting, if you're staying with Wi-Fi 5, you're going to be in that 4x4. You're even going to see the Wi-Fi 6 4x4. They're pushing the Wi-Fi standards so quickly. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
PoE port that can power an additional connected Unify device.
All right, so you can see we are going from the in-wall to the Unify Talk phone. This phone is available. There are 2 different models, a white model, black model. This is the white model.
Specifically designed for hospitality deployments.
So I don't know if I could convert a whole hotel to Unify Talk. Probably not. But if you're watching what's happening between Protect, Network, and talk, and you pay attention to the FCC filings, you will know they are going to head on take on the MDU and hotel markets. So it's, we'll see what happens.
We also released the G4 Doorbell Pro.
All right, so I have one of these Doorbell Pro 4s. I did buy it myself. And once I get my Unifi Dream Router video put out here in the next couple days, we are going to join the doorbell to it. We are also going to join these little instants. And I have a very special assignment for these instant cameras, and I think you're going to like it.
A smart doorbell featuring a 5-megapixel main camera with a secondary downward-facing camera.
I've seen a lot of people complaining online about this, saying that, it's got the same processor, the same memory, the same resolution, but what they don't talk about is that they have added a fingerprint reader, the package camera. They do mention it occasionally, and then the screen on this is actually a color screen.
Designed to view your packages, providing snapshots whenever motion is detected. The 1.3-inch color screen allows you to create custom messages that will be displayed whenever a visitor is detected. Take advantage of super fast response times from notifications to two-way talk.
I love how this is supposed to be mounted outside on a door, like on a threshold. And then over here on the app that they're showing, I don't know, it looks like maybe we're in a hallway here. So, gotta love that.
With the G4 doorbell's built-in microphone and speaker, installing your doorbell is effortless.
As a few other people have noted, this does have different distances between the holes in the mounting brackets than the standard doorbell.
Power it with your existing doorbell wiring or with the optional PoE adapter.
I was not able to get the PoE adapter. I have the USB power adapter. However, it has been confirmed that if you use this adapter with the doorbell, that it is truly Ethernet. The entire connection is Ethernet. So it's powered PoE, but the data connection is also Ethernet.
For a true wired connection, we've updated several Unify Talk user interface features, including hold music messaging.
So James and I and Tim, all three of us have talk gear. We've been testing it, working through some scenarios. So they keep adding a lot of talk features. So I'm going to do a talk intro. What is talk? Setting it up. We're going to talk about setting up third-party trunks. We're going to talk about peer trunks and all those things. So thankfully with this product, things that you have to do from the CLI, and most phone systems, I will tell you, it is not unusual for a phone system to give you command line access so that you can tweak things, or to give you API access so that you can tweak things. So I'm not even upset about that, because this runs FreeSwitch under the hood, which is super powerful. And the things that aren't exposed in the UI, it's not like a JSON file, right? You were actually editing FreeSwitch configuration files.
Custom voicemail greetings, smart attendant extension dialing, and for simple phone upgrades, we released the Unified Talk.
Have not been able to get my hand on an ATA because I want to compare this ATA to my GrandStream ATA that actually powers an analog phone that I know I've still got to get hung up here. But I want to see how that all works out. My goal is to get my office rearranged. I know I've been talking about that, but I just got to figure out exactly what I want to do besides get rid of all the cardboard. So all the things are coming out of all the boxes and will just be sitting on shelves, hoping to go from 4 shelves to maybe 2. We'll see what happens.
Talk analog telephone adapter. And finally, we are excited to announce Wave technology.
I just can't even tell you how much that mesh Wave AP has me excited.
Now in early access, our most impressive engineering achievement to date, Wave is capable of distributing multi-gigabit fiber-like internet to communities with unparalleled economic efficiency and deployment flexibility. Learn more at ui.com and join us next time for another Ubiquity Insider.
All right, so we're going to go back here. And let's head over to the comments real quick. JH says he'd love a chassis. Yeah, a chassis switch would be something new for them. But it is worth noting that the Unify DC switches that are NEA are not managed through the standard Unify application. And it tells you this on the EA site that there's going to be a special Unify data center application. So CCISMID says, configuring a couple of GWN 7660s and under radio settings, there are channel and strength options of auto and dynamically assigned. What is dynamically assigned? So the radio, uses an algorithm to try to decide what channel and how much strength. Usually when you see that auto on power, it's high, right? So you should always tune your radios. Unky Joe says, I sent one of those in-walls to a friend in the UK a while back. He loves it. I'm assuming, Unky Joe, you're talking about the in-wall AP. Gibby says, I already had an integrator ask if the Unify doorbell has a profile for home automation system. Have we Wiresharked it? So I do know that Unify Protect can work with Home Assistant. So how much integration there is, I don't know. Home Assistant is on my list. That's probably, if we're being, realistic about how everything's rolling, it's going to be when it gets cooler in the fall and we're spending a little bit more time inside. JH says, I may have to get one of those because I can't host it and not have to do a cloud service. Not sure what you're talking about there, JH. Gibby says, do I need anything special in the Unify like their router? Not sure what that is. Hey, Wookie Mitch. Cliff says full-on Ethernet for the doorbell is nice. Yeah, because the other two Ethernet-driven doorbells, like actual PoE doorbells that we use, are Axis and Grandstream. So the Unify Doorbell Pro is the same price as some of the Grandstream. Sometimes the Grandstream GDSs, you find them around the same price. So there is a difference. I should do a side-by-side on those. Good morning, Rich. Ryu says, I use Talk here in the house and we love it. It just needs a paging option so the wife can scream at me in the workshop. Yeah. So they're adding features to it all the time, and FreeSwitch can do all those things because FreeSwitch is just amazingly powerful, but they have to, Ryu, you understand 100%, how it goes, for them to get things exposed. So Gibby says, my wife just texted me in all caps. That's that's funny. Prav says, I think there are a number of Unify integrations with Home Assistant. Yeah, 100%. JH says, I don't know if I could use a mesh on a house that I don't control the power. What happens to the downstream clients if they unplug their radio? That is a good point. And I'm sure that ISPs will be pretty sweet, JH, in that same vein, is if Ubiquiti came out with a UPS, because, these devices are meant to be super power efficient anyway. If they came out with a UPS that could power that device for like 3 or 4 hours in the event of a power outage, but you're 100%, and maybe that gets mounted on the outside in a box, right? So that they can't unplug it. They could unplug it and take it down. But hopefully if you lose a whole node, people are going to notice and somebody's going to be out there looking around. Morning, Cody. Gibby says, I don't do Home Assistant, more professional systems. I mean, Home Assistant's pretty decent. Fisherman's Overlook says, smash the like button. I agree with Fisherman's Overlook. Smash that like button. Weibo says, the catch is that the whole system is designed for a single dwelling. I need 4 destinations, multiple screens, as it would be managed centrally. It would not get approved by the building. I am out of the loop on what we're talking about here. All right, so here is the last video they published in the last few days, and I want to point some things out. So if you don't know, we've talked about it before, but Ubiquiti has now released their cloud console. And Let's take a look at this and talk about it just a little bit here. There's one thing I want to point out here.
Welcome back to Unify Experts Corner. I'm Spencer.
So that's Spencer, and Spencer is my Ubiquiti handler. So he is actually my main point of contact at Ubiquiti.
Until now, the only way to manage very large networks was to install a standalone Unify network application on a local or cloud-hosted server. Our consoles are great for network deployments with multiple Unify devices and hundreds of clients. But for very large-scale deployments with hundreds or thousands of Unify devices and 10,000 plus clients, the Cloud Console paired with the UXG Pro offers practically limitless scalability.
So they just gave you huge insight into where they think the UDM Pro fits. Hundreds of clients, right? So you can kind of see where this is going. You can put the pieces together without having a written roadmap if you watch and listen to what they're saying.
Setting up a Cloud Console is simple. A Cloud Console option will be available for you when you first log in to unify.ui.
Spencer, I did not see multi-factor authentication on that account. Come on, Spencer.
If you have no other consoles managed. If you already manage an existing console, you can click on Display Options, Unify OS Console dropdown, hover over Cloud to reveal a plus button to select and add a new Cloud Console.
All right. So their pricing for 500 devices is going to be $29 a month, which is lower than anyone else who is doing this professionally. They're also going to have this $299 a month for 2,000 devices is going to be available soon.
Select your payment method and name your Cloud Console to start your 30-day free trial. You can now access your Cloud Console from unify.ui.com and start adopting your Unify device.
Okay, so here they have Cloud Console version 7.1.66.
Devices as you would any Unify console. The all-new next-generation Gateway Pro is a powerful...
And he's right. This thing is a beast, and we love it. And even at this price point, because of the IDS, IPS, the country blocking and things like that, and as business internet's getting faster, I actually have... I mean, this thing... Here's the thing. People say that this thing in the UDM can't do a lot of things. It actually can, but Ubiquiti has changed the vernacular, and so they just don't understand it. And so we're going to be getting into a lot of this in videos in the near future.
Security gateway that can be paired with a Cloud Console to support higher-scaled Unify network deployments. To migrate an existing Unify network installation to a Cloud Console.
Now, we see this rack, and... Okay, so there's that PDU Pro that is in EA. Looks like we got some patch panels here. I don't know if this is like a Corning fiber rack. They're not sure what that is 100%, to be honest with you. Looks to be maybe some sort of server. I don't know what that is. Looks like the UXG is here. Then it looks like there's a black switch there. Not sure what that is. Then we've got some sort of 2U device here. They've got all kinds of goodies spread out through this entire rack. And I don't know if this is a generic rack or if Ubiquiti is going to come out with a full-size rack. I have a feeling we are heading towards where you can go, use the builder, you know, the planning software, and I mean, you're going to be able to absolutely have everything from the rack to the cage nuts to the Ethernet cables to the PDU, and you're going to be able to just get it on a pallet and get it shipped to you.
Unify network installation to a Cloud Console is also incredibly simple. If you have a multi-site host, we recommend leveraging the site.
Wait a second. I think that's what I wanted to look at. Let me see here.
Also incredibly simple. If you have a
Nope, this one's still 7.1.66.
We recommend leveraging the site export wizard to seamlessly walk you through the migration process. For single-site deployments, you must import a network application backup file from your old deployment to your new Cloud Console. Once restored, you will need to point your old devices toward the new Cloud Console. This can be achieved by entering the new cloud console's inform host URL into the old application's override inform host function. Important note, your backup must be the same or a previous version. Here are a few additional Expert Corner Cloud Console tips.
Okay. Can anybody see what I caught on this screen? I'll stay here. We'll look at the comments real quick while somebody tells me what I caught on this screen. Weibo says they do have some of the gear with built-in UPS. Not sure which gear we're talking about. Have you ever done any point-of-sale installations? Yes. We do point-of-sale installations, configurations. CC is my ID. Any updates on the GrandStream switches? Supposed to be here this year. Weibo says, wondering if they're looking to grab some Hostify market share back. Not sure on the costing comparison. I think they are going to grab. I'm going to do a video on whether you should host your own Unify controller or whether you should put it in the cloud. If you put it in the cloud, where should you put it? And, you know, my answers may surprise you. They may not if you've been following me long enough. Will this put Hostify out of business? No, I don't think it's going to put Hostify out of business, but what it's going to do is it's going to cause Hostify. So Hostify has already started competing with those of us who were supporting them because they are now offering full-on consulting. So I think it's going to cause them to further explore their options. And as a business, if they want to survive, that's what they're going to have to do. They are going to quickly see, though, that what we do as consultants is different than software as a service. So, and, you know, I've been doing this for a while, and you learn a lot of lessons. And people who have been, you know, doing this longer than me will tell you, you learn a lot of hard lessons. So, no, I don't think they're going to put Hostify out of business, but if I was Hostify, I would definitely be paying attention. Jim says, see how long they keep hosting it or until it gets forgotten. You know, they have, you know, people give them crap for this, but they seem to have rounded a corner on some of this stuff. Ryu says, if I ever get more than 2 customers, then I'll ditch the Pi and move to the cloud console. Absolutely. Wookie Mitch says modem. I think he's talking about the black thing in the rack. Ryu says, I still like to get my hands on a Unify PDI. I agree. And there it is. So the comments started coming in about what I saw on this screen. That is Unify Network 7.3.7. So we know where it's going, right? So keep our eyes peeled for that. Justin says, Willie Howe, not sure if you mentioned this. Do you have any deployments yet with Unify Talk? We have deployed 3 Unify Talk phone systems, and the customers have been happy with the phone system so far. They have two of them are using the Unify Talk numbers. Cody says the mission critical switch has a built-in UPS. Eric says, IDS IPS lacks Unify console detail. You don't know what's happening on your network. It's not comparable. We'll have to take a look at that, Eric. But also, don't try to shove a square peg in a round hole, right? If it doesn't work for you, don't put it in, right? So instead of arguing, you know, about it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that, just don't use it. Use your Sophos or your Fortinet or whatever it is. JH says, Hostify can start doing TP-Link Omada controllers as well. You know, I don't know that he's interested in that. I think he wants to stick with Unify because that's what they know, and the people that he has hired, that's their, you know, their wheelhouse. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out for him. LTHIBX says, so does this mean there will be a push of moving off self-hosted controller to this cloud console and in the future terminating self-hosting? I don't believe so. I believe you will always be able to host the Unify console yourself. I also believe that they are going to make a push for this, and depending on how like UID shakes out, this may make sense. We'll just have to see what happens. What do you think about Ubiquiti Support these days? As good as 3 years ago? I see they have not updated the firmware for things like Edge Router 4 in a year. So Edge Router is not dead. They've said it is not dead. There is and there has been an update within the last year. And I very rarely deal with Ubiquiti Support because we do the support, we do all of that. So it's very rare that we have to go to Unify support for anything or for Ubiquiti Support. Cajoling Tech says, wasn't there an issue with Protect you were talking about last year? So a couple years ago. So like with Synology Surveillance Station, they have a tool to verify the authenticity of the video, that the video has not been tampered with. Other NVRs have this as well. Where you're going to use Unify Protect, probably that isn't going, a lot of people aren't going to be concerned with that. And just like anything else IT related, you're going to have users that just want to be able to see that video, and then you're going to have users that have to have a complete chain of custody for very specific things, right? So Protect does work in certain situations. It doesn't work in others. Synology works in some situations, doesn't work in others. Milestone, just keep naming it, right? That's why all of these companies exist, because people support them all and they work in certain situations. Hope that answered that, Joe. JH says the cloud deployment is going to put them on route with other places like Mist, Meraki, and Aruba. Yeah, all these other companies offer it. And if they guaranteed the backup, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Cliff says the odd thing is that the Edge Router Infinity is by price their flagship router and is 3 days away from its latest firmware's birthday. And that router is extremely powerful. Justin says, I have a small law firm which I am installing a Unify stack. Any advice on the talk deployment? If you've used other systems, FreePBX, GrandStream, UCM, it is not as robust. It's not as robust as a straight up free switch from the UI. It is extremely robust if you don't mind messing with those command line configuration files. So, and that's how we got some peer-to-peer stuff working. That's how we got some third-party stuff working. So let's finish this real quick.
1. Even if you don't leverage the multi-site feature, we recommend using the site export for the applicable network application hosts. 2. A single Cloud Console instance can be used to manage several independent sites. 3. Unlike Unify Cloud Console, most third-party cloud hosting requires advanced Layer 3 adoption methods, which involve using SSH or custom DHCP options and advanced DNS configurations. We leverage our Unify network.
So what Ubiquiti is doing with this move right here is they are flattening and simplifying the adoption to their cloud. They are once again, so if you look at the goal of some of this, is to make it very, 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 very simple. And they are doing it, right? Now, they have made it very simple for people who understand the technology. And I think that's where the gap exists here, right? Ubiquiti has this goal. They understand they want to make this super simple, and they've made it super simple for those of us that already understand technology. For the folks that don't understand the technology, there's still some pain points there.
Mobile apps enable Layer 3 adoption with a single tap. 4. We maintain a secure hosting environment. Normal self-hosting requires the user to have it.
Now, there's a lot to unpack in that statement. Let me back that up.
Normal self-hosting requires the user to have advanced cloud hosting and firewall configurations.
Okay. So, if you have a cloud key and you just, forward the ports that are appropriate and you're doing multi-site, that is a pretty secure configuration. Now, if you're running the controller on a Linux box, if you're running it on a Windows box, a Mac OS box, there are other security configurations. However, it is secure. But once again, this is where Ubiquiti is trying to make this as simple as possible.
Or else they risk having vulnerabilities. So there you go. That should help you get started with your Unify Cloud Console. Join me next time on Unify Experts Corner, where we will continue to simplify.
We're going to talk about one of Spencer's other videos in the expert's corner. But besides myself, who do I have the greatest confidence in? So the whole Ubiquiti exploit that happened was done by an insider. It wasn't like Ubiquiti left their security doors open to the outside world. It was someone who had intimate knowledge inside, had all of the clearance to do it, a very frustrated employee. And this could happen at any company. This is not unique to Ubiquiti. In fact, I'm sure that this stuff is happening all the time and we're just not hearing about it, right? So I have a high confidence level with Ubiquiti being able to host this and keep it secure. I do have a very high confidence level, but I also have an even higher confidence level of myself hosting either a cloud key or a controller and keeping it just as secure, if not more secure, than Ubiquiti, and being able to maintain backups and all that good stuff, right? But we'll have to see how it plays out. Like I said, I'm going to do a video on that pretty soon. Let's go to the comments real quick. JH says, I still say Ubiquiti needs to sell the Edge line to someone who will do more with it. I think we're going to see them do some more. I can't say a whole lot. Cajoling Technology says, have you had to increase prices with inflation? So I have not. My prices, I actually thought about running a special like in July or August where we actually, to help people offset, because people still need work. I've thought about discounting temporarily our hourly labor rate. And going from, for a month, going from the 150 an hour back to 120 an hour to kind of help people out. Cause this is when, when people can't afford to get things done properly, this is when the pieces start flying apart. Right. So I'd much rather, decrease my hourly charge a little bit and help people get things done correctly. So we'll have to see how it works out. We're still kind of talking about that. Tom says, we are thinking about charging a dispatch fee for fuel charge. So I am in a few Wisp groups, and they have been talking about this because some of the people out in DC have speculated that gas prices by September could be $10 a gallon. And so there, the conversation is, okay, are there no more free truck rolls? Are there no more free installs? So we're going to have to see how this shakes out, but the ripple effect of what's happening with our economy is going to be felt for a while. Let's see. Cliff says, insider threats are very difficult to prevent. That's right. And that's why you should have proper HR procedures. You should have proper IT procedures and things like that. Because if you don't, some of these things can go unchecked and then you've got no legal recourse. Let's see. Jim says, going on the UDC thing, I would think they are planning things for the Edge line. Yeah, 100%. Ralph says, anyone worried that UI making everything so simple so that a ton of their gear gets installed incorrectly configured by the non-experts and they get a bad rep? So, Ralph, you've heard me talk about for years that is the dual-edged sword of Ubiquiti. It's actually the dual-edged sword of all of the equipment providers that are in this same type of niche. And you've started to see all of them now come out with pay-for-play platforms because the hardware sales are nice, but they need that monthly recurring revenue. You've got Ubiquiti, you've got Synology, you've got Grandstream, you've got QNAP, you've got all these vendors. And if you start looking at it now, they've all started coming out with those pay-for-play service. JH says, we had a new gas station put in down the street with four price digits on the sign. That's not a good sign for the future. Ryu says, FYI, the IRS is raising the mileage rate in the U.S. in July. Well, we'll see what happens. Have they ever done a Ryu, do you know, have they ever done a mid-year update like that before? Or do you think that is specifically addressing this? All right, so let's go to the Unify Experts Corner. network traffic rules. And we're going to watch this, and then we're going to talk about it.
With Ubiquiti, and welcome to an all-new series, Unify Experts Corner, where we take common networking challenges, pick them apart, and come up with solutions to them. In this episode, we'll cover network traffic rules. For example, a common problem teachers run into.
So I watch most of my videos at 1.5 speed or 2 speed. I don't know if anybody else does that, but that's how I watch most of my YouTube videos. It's also how I watch most of my training videos.
Students watching YouTube during class. Now, ideally, we want to block students from these sites and apps during class times, but maybe make them accessible during break times or before or after school. To block YouTube from the students, first we have to segment student devices from the rest of the network. So we'll need to create a dedicated network separate from the teachers. So we'll jump into settings.
All right, so you're going to notice that this is one place, and I told Spencer I wouldn't pick on him too much because he actually doesn't come up with the steps that he's going to use. I think those come from somewhere else, right? He's the brains behind producing all of this great content. And so I told him, I said, I'm going to start doing reaction videos to these, and but I'm not going to like tear him apart because I mean he does a good job, right? He's only been behind the camera a few times, so I think he does a great job. So we are going to just talk about some of the changes that I would make were I to make this video.
Networks. Create new network. Here we're going to type in the network name as restricted and click add network.
All right, real quick, let's back up, and I want to look at this. So can anybody guess what my change is going to be? Let me know if you can tell based on this screen how I would change this video. We'll leave it here for a few seconds. All right, we're going to go ahead and play again.
Now that we have two networks, one for students that's restricted and one for teachers, let's create a Wi-Fi network just for the students. Click on Wi-Fi. Click on create new Wi-Fi network.
Now you'll notice he called it, did he call it restricted? I don't know. Let's finish this.
Create a name for your Wi-Fi. We'll use UI students. Create a secure password you can give to your students. And under network, let's select restricted.
So he just called it restricted.
Click add Wi-Fi network, and you're done.
All right. So let's go back to that screen and look at the change that I would make on this screen. So, and this is, you know, some of that, they're trying to make this very simple, and they're doing a good job of making it simple, but this is part of that why a lot of us are still going to be able to support this, and we're still going to have people reaching out to us.
Click add Wi-Fi network, and you're done. So now, let's apply a traffic rule to limit certain apps and sites.
So you, at Willie Howe Technology, you would not be done, but we'll talk about that after we finish the video.
To implement the traffic restrictions, go to Settings, Traffic Management, Create New Rule. In here, for action, we're going to select Block. Category, we're going to jump down to Domain Name and enter youtube.com as a domain to block. We're going to target the restricted network that we just created. So now any device connected to the student's Wi-Fi network will be blocked from YouTube. And we will set a schedule as custom, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3:15 p.m. when school lets out. And click Add Rule.
So first, they talked about letting the app through on breaks, and they didn't. They just blocked it for the entire school day, right?
And we're done. Now that we blocked the domain youtube.com, let's block the app as well. We'll jump back into traffic management, click on Create New Rule, and this time we will keep block as the action. The category this time will be app instead of domain. Let's search the app YouTube, and it will auto-populate. Click on YouTube. Now for the target, we're going to select restricted as the network, which is tied to the student's Wi-Fi. We'll set the same custom schedule to block the app Monday through Friday between 8 and 3:15. Now click Add Rule. Now YouTube, the app, is blocked on all devices connected to the student's restricted Wi-Fi. And there you go. It's as simple as that. We separated the teachers and student devices by creating a dedicated Wi-Fi network just for the students and created a traffic rule to block YouTube during class hours. Join us next time on Unify Experts Corner, where we'll continue to simplify IT. Thanks.
All right. So if you remember back when I first started my channel, my tagline, and this was before there was another YouTuber that was using this tagline, but I used it first, but it was Willie Howe, simplifying IT, or IT simplified, right? So I love it, but I'm not saying that that's where they got it. I'm just saying that a few of us use that. So a couple of things we'll talk about how I would change this is if I did it, when I set up that network, now they called it restricted. Let's see here. We're going to go back to the wired network. Okay, so the first thing that I would do is I would not do auto scale. I've asked them to uncheck auto scale by default because I could see people running into issues here. The second thing is that there's actually no segmentation between the teacher's network, which is probably the school network, and the students. So they should have, in my opinion, made the network type a guest network, because he didn't go in and set up firewall rules to say that this network couldn't get to the teacher network. To me, they should have added that. What else? That's it here. Now, a lot of people were saying VLAN, but what actually happens now in Unify is you can just go in and start creating all the networks you want, and it will, unless you go into manual, it's going to automatically assign subnets, it's going to automatically assign VLANs, and they're all going to be standard networks, which means there's going to be traffic flow between all the networks. That's the first thing that I would change, is I would make this a guest network. And then, you guessed it, over on the Wi-Fi, where's that at? I would have also tagged this as a guest, because just because it says guest hotspot doesn't mean that you actually have to use it as a hotspot. You can turn that captive portal piece off, but then that also puts the firewall on at the AP level and restricts, the traffic between the students, and is also a secondary layer of protection from the students to the teacher's network. So those are the things that I would change on this video. What else? What would you all change? Let me know down in the comments. Let me go over to the comments. T-Century, SB, a lot of us, we watch our videos, and I do sometimes talk slowly, so I expect people to do that. Justin says, you mentioned pay to play. We have a 3CX on-prem system installed and are looking to move to GrandStream to avoid an annual subscription, so the only annual subscription, and they haven't even pulled the lever on it yet, because I think they're still trying to figure out what they can charge and not lose customers. The only thing you would have to pay for is if you go past your free remote connect licenses. So you're going to get 10 extensions and I think 2 or 4 simultaneous calls for free forever on remote connect, or until the terms and conditions change. But they're looking at those gold and silver levels. But that's it. No, you buy a GrandStream PBX and it is pretty much what it is, free for life for now. So JH says, yes, client isolation is what you're looking to say. Yes, client isolation is exactly what I was talking about. So while we are on the topic, I wonder, you know what I wonder? So I'm behind a UDM. I'm triple natted here. And what I'm wondering, I'm going to do a video. I don't want to do it now because people will talk about how my IP is exposed and things like that. But Joe caught me off guard. I forgot. Joe says, I like this. A review a video and play a game of what would Willie do. I agree. Hammerhead Fred says, what are you guys using in place of Ubiquiti Cam? Stock problems seem never ending. Yeah, so we are using other cameras, and we're using Surveillance Station from Synology. Also, if you follow me on Twitter, and if you don't, the link is down below. I do, while I'm drinking my morning coffee, watch the stock over at Ubiquiti, and I post my affiliate links to the products that people are looking for that come in, so you can check that out. And as always, they are clearly marked affiliate links. All right, so I think we've been going for a little over an hour. I want to thank you all for being here. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. If you're interested in that Grand Stream professional training, scroll back up, get that link. I don't know if that link is still what's in my... Yeah, there it is. I'll post that link one more time. And if you need that, you want that training, make sure you go get signed up. Like I said, the class is over 50% full. So I expect by the end of June that class is going to be full. And we'll probably have to then look at one for like October. So we'll see. Well, and I don't know. I could see if I could find a place to do it in Vegas since we're going to be out there. But I want to thank you all for being here. If you need IT consulting, if you just want to reach out, williehowe.com. All the affiliate links are below. I hope you all have a great Saturday. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.